Ganito, masaya tong gagawin natin. For the first time dito sa ating munting podcast na Who the Heck Are We, may gagawin tayong masaya dito. Since uso naman ang NBA playoffs, since uso naman ang mga brackets, at dahil hindi nga tayo nakapanood ng March Madness this year, so let's try to do our own version of March Madness. Although it's already September, pero nagbuo tayo dito sa Who the Heck Are We ng ating sariling bracket. So, ladies and gentlemen, to our listeners and to our viewers, please welcome the first edition of the Who the Heck Are We bracketology. Of course, Jay, there's Claro, there's Claudia, there's Lance. Guys, are you ready to do this?
Yes.
Let's do it. Sir Jay, wala tayong twice to beat advantage.
Oh, wala. Di uso twice to beat dito.
Let's burst the bracket.
No. Knockout stages to pala. Knockout.
Okay.
So, knockout to.
Stages.
Garantisadong may mananalo dito. Walang tiebreaker. Walang, what do you call this? Play for that 8th seed for the first seed. Although, may mga wild card tayo because what we are going to discuss right now, ang ating bracket for this edition of our Who the Heck Are We bracketology is gonna pit all the number one draft picks of the PBA mula 2000 hanggang present. So hanggang from 2000 to 2019, meaning there is a pool of 20 players na pagpipilian natin and malalaman natin pagdating sa dulo kung sino ang magiging ultimate number 1 PBA draft pick ng taong 2000.
Ding, ding, ding.
Guys, ready?
Oy, nagting-ding. I know that. So,
No. I mean, I did the bell sound to start, so let's get the show on
okay. The bell
Okay, let's get it on.
Okay, let's get it rolling. So, here's what I did. So, I'm gonna use a pool of 16 tournament bracket. Hinati ko siya sa 4 na conference. So, 4 na division. Although, like we've mentioned, we have a pool of 20 players. So, meaning, merong wild card. And hinati rin natin yung mga wild card na yun sa 4. So, ang mangyayari dito is each conference, you have the guards, you have the wings, you have the bigs, and you have the utilities or the stretches. So, each group have 5 players. And ang una natin gagawin ay we identify all those 5 people in that conference and we are going to eliminate one on that group. So unfortunately, hindi pa nag-umpisa yung bracket, may matatanggal kagad. Okay? So umpisa natin. So ganito ang magiging sistema. So botohan dito. So since 3 kayo, walang magiging tiebreaker dito. Somebody has to break a tie. So someone will advance definitely, 'di ba?
Okay.
Sayang, tanong ko.
I have this paper.
All right,
Tanong ko
let's
sana
go.
kung may tie, may penalty shootout ba?
Oo. Wala talagang overtime to, Claro.
Wala.
So, first, we go to the guards, okay? So, pagdating sa guards, here's your lineup. Stanley Pringle, 2014 number 1 draft pick.
He's a keeper.
Willie Miller, 2001. J.B. Casio, 2011. Mike Cortez, 2003. And Paulo Mendoza, 2000. Lance, let me start with you. Among those 5, sino ang i-vote out mo?
Oh gosh, easy.
It hurts for me to say this because I am a UP alumnus.
I know you.
Pero just a quick glimpse of the careers of the 5 people that you mentioned. It's Paulo Mendoza that I'm going to kick out.
Paulo Mendoza, listen to this credentials. One-time champion, Santa Lucia. UAP Juniors and UAP Seniors record holder for most points. Diba? You are really going to kick out your fellow Isko.
Well, the thing is, Paulo Mendoza is a volume shooter. So, he can score the most. Pero he needs to shoot the ball a lot of times in order to get as much points as possible.
Okay.
Kasi for me with the guards, it's very imperative for me, in my own opinion. You should have at least a good shooting percentage, because if the big men cannot get it done if they kick it out to you. More or less, you can be able to convert the basket. And out of the 5 really, parang just a quick analysis and assessment of how their careers went on. It really is Paulo Mendoza for me.
Claudia, na-impluwensyahan ka ba nung sinabi ni Lance?
No, I already knew from the start. I'll kick out Paulo Mendoza.
Paulo
I
Mendoza.
mean, you have Stanley Pringle who dominates 50 points a game. Mike Cortez, Kukat, I mean, fellow Lasallian, di ba? Casio, the same thing. Was also, I believe it was in Gilas. And then who's the other one? Si Willie Miller, 2-time MVP. You got, those credentials against Paulo Mendoza. And the fact that all the other 4, aside from Paulo, they made an impact in their own teams. Paulo, hi Paulo, I don't know you, but yeah.
I think there was
Claro,
a season.
are you ready to make it unanimous?
Yeah, very much. But first, I think there was a season, yung season na nag-champion sila with Santo Lucia, si Paulo Mendoza.
Yes.
I think he was playing well.
Ansu Cisse. It was there, or Ansu Cisse, or was it Damian Owens?
So it's like Damon Owens.
Damian Owens was there.
But he's more
super import.
Pero he's more of like from the bench, no?
Yes, he was a bench player. Kasi I remember that season because when I heard Paulo Mendoza, at first I was like, keep. Kasi honestly, medyo bata pa ako noon, and I remember that time when Santo Lucia beat San Miguel.
Yes.
Bata ko, napikon ako.
Pero hindi ka napikon kay Paulo Mendoza.
Now I remember the first name of Damian Owens kasi tawag namin ng kuya ko sa kanya, disco ball hair kasi naka-afro siya. Okay. Because first, I was thinking Mike Cortez kasi medyo slow yung start niya pero he had his comebacks. He was a starter for SMB for a while when they were stacked. He had some good games. And then also JV Cash was in my head because parang medyo borderline all-star siya. But he's a reliable player. But when you come up with your all-stars, there's other guys ahead of him. But it just shows that it's stacked, but he can hold his own. Willie Miller, that's not a problem at all. Yeah. You saw how he got to thrive in the triangle. Yeah, Stanley Pringle, he's there.
Okay.
He's there. He wows you with his handle. So okay.
Yeah.
I'll just add one more thing pala regarding the guards. Kasi with all the 5 names that you've mentioned, parang I just came up with this criteria just now. Versatility. Paulo Mendoza kasi is one-dimensional eh. Again, I'm a UP alumnus and it hates for me to say this. Pero Willie Miller is multifaceted. JV Casio, two-way. Stanley Pringle, sobra naman, di ba?
Yeah.
So, if you are a coach, for me, if I were building a team and I would like to have people or players that can fill multiple roles so that I can jumble the rotation once in a while and let them handle multiple tasks. So si Paulo Mendoza kasi catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Parang hindi mo siya may isipan na mag-drive or assist like a JV Casio. So kaya it's an easy choice si Paulo Mendoza talaga.
Okay. So Paulo Mendoza is out now. Would you guys like to go to the more
Pero UP
difficult
fight pa rin
portion?
UP fight pa rin po ako sa mga nanonood.
meron pa ba mo nakalinyang UP dito? Tignan natin kung may nakalinya pang mga taga-UP dito na number 1 draft pick. Pero again, moving forward, it's now I think it's now time to move to a more difficult portion. So let's know the matchups right now. So first matchup natin pagdating sa guard, since Paulo Mendoza is out of the way, who would you choose to advance? Well, may nabubuo na kayong criteria. Si Lance may nabuo ng criteria. I don't know about the other 2, pero makikita natin yan along the way. Our first matchup will be pitting a 1-time champion, 5-time All-Star, 1-time first team, 2-time second team, Rookie of the Year winner, All-Rookie member, and 1-time PBA scoring champion. That is Stanley Pringle. He's going up against a 4-time champion, a 2-time finals MVP, a 2-time MVP, 2-time best player of the conference, and so on and so forth. From 2001, Willie Miller. Who will advance? Claudia.
Oh gosh, that's very difficult.
I know this would be fun.
That's very difficult. Who would I choose? Gosh.
Marami pa nakasulat kay Willie Miller if you're not yet convinced, but I can understand your puzzlement right
yeah, because
now.
I didn't really watch. He dominated during the 2000, and his two MVPs were asterisk MVPs, diba? That's what they were saying. It was during the time that the season was very short.
Medyo watered down because
down.
the national
team
time where the national team played.
Yeah,
So
that's
Willie
why.
Miller took the advantage.
But Willie, both of them are my friends.
Which makes it even harder.
I worked with Stanley Pringle in the SEA Games, and I worked with Willie Miller in the FBA. So if I take them down, they might not like me.
One way or another.
Pas ka muna. Pag-isipan mo ng matindi.
One
way or another, someone will get a pack of coffee from Claudia.
I know, right?
Ako, Sir Jay, right now.
Claro.
Mahirap yun because I think Willie Miller, you see again, going back to the triangle, how he was that man running through the motions and everything, and he'd be somewhat like the clutch guy also, but he's had his fair share of misses too. Si Stanley Pringle, more of an individual type of guy, diba? And this also shows a difficult part because you're comparing players from the newer generation versus the older generation. So that is the challenge. Because now, like they'll say, oh, if you put up maybe the early 2000s Lakers maybe against the Warriors when they were champion, they'll say the Warriors will win because they'll shoot threes, which is a more effective shot.
Yeah.
It's a more efficient way of scoring threes, diba? But Shaq will say that they'll really beat the toot out of the Warriors or any current NBA team. So I think it's a matter of preference right now, no? Because when you look at it in terms of achievements, you go Willie Miller. But I'll think in the perspective
of an impact player.
Stanley's still playing.
Jay.
Let me think. Okay. So Willie Miller.
I already have a choice.
Yeah, I have one else. But I think medyo preference na in this situation. I'll build my team around Stanley in this situation.
I'll get Willie Miller. Killer instinct. Killer instinct. Willie Miller ako.
Okay.
Clutch through clutch and killer instinct. Willie Miller. Through if I pass the ball to him, I know he's gonna take the ball to the hoop. Walang takot si Willie Miller. I'm not saying that Stanley walang takot, but I think there's more. Willie Miller has more of the oomph. Yun. And
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, Stanley Pringle has to develop that oomph, and he will. He's just new to the game, so he will.
Yeah, much newer because Willie Miller, medyo
pero may
career already. Yeah, so I went with Stanley because I see he can hit that ceiling or break that ceiling.
Okay. Yun.
Oh, Lance. Looks like ikaw ang nakatakdang mag-break ng tie nito. So, who would you pick to advance? Stanley Pringle or Willie Miller?
So, I'll base my assessment on individual credentials. Okay. Regardless of the fact that there are arguments that Willie Miller's MVP trophies are somewhat watered down because a lot of the contenders are out. Well, an MVP is still an MVP trophy regardless of who you go up against. And mind you, he was an MVP for 2 different teams.
Yes.
So imagine being an MVP for 2 different teams. That's a different set of coaching, different set of personnel. So you have to adjust. So he adjusted, he absorbed the new system, and yet he's still the best player.
He thrived.
Alaska,
Number 2,
man.
Yung nga yung nasabi kanina, in the clutch. Well, Stanley Pringle did well in the last Governor's Cup Finals, yes. Pero there was Brownlee kasi who really dominated the competition.
Yeah.
I was wondering if without Brownlee, how would it affect Stanley Pringle's play during the series against the 2019 finals, Governors. And Willie Miller won 2 Finals MVPs. So, to break the tie, I'd go Willie Miller.
Oh.
I had a feeling, like as you were going
because
along.
Clutch. The clutch killing instinct.
Willie Miller had this long streak of missing too.
Pero the verdict is still out when it comes to Stanley Pringle's career. Still has a few more years to go.
Yes, may ceiling pa and stuff.
So maybe by the time he's done, baka magbaliktad na tong ano natin.
We'll go back to it again.
And lamang ako by the end.
So Willie Miller advanced. Thank God I'm hosting this bracketology. I don't want any part of it, to be honest. Because this is a really heavy list eh. Ang tinding tournament ito, tulad itong next matchup, it's gonna be pitting 2011 versus 2003. By the way, since Stanley Pringle is the Rookie of the Year during 2014, just to get out of the way. So, moving forward, 2011 versus 2003, the battle of two green archer point guards. Who would you pick to advance? Mr. Lasal, Claro Manzano, JV Casio, or Mike Cortez?
Hirap. That's a tough one. There's bias to Mike Cortez because of how he dunks.
Yes, he's a dunker. No
JV Casio, first is, paano to? JV Casio stayed throughout. So you have so many different ways to see it now.
Mm-hmm.
But there were years where I remember, Casio wouldn't really be up there in the score sheet in terms of individual contribution and everything. But I'm not downplaying because that time, there were the likes of Mac Cardona and Joseph Yeo overshadowing him.
Mm-hmm.
So he was being groomed. But there's a big plus there. Although Casio was a younger player, he was he was the go-to guy or the designated player when they had buzzer beaters and catch and shoots and everything for clutch plays. They'd go to him. So, but if you look at just skill and everything, no, I don't know, man. That's tough. I was about to give an answer already, guys. Damn it.
I already have my answer.
Claudia.
Claro has it.
Okay, Claro.
I'm going to simply go with Mike Cortez. Because he was pulling up and taking those shots. He was taking those daring shots nung hindi pa siya uso.
Mm-hmm.
The big man was the king in the early 2000s. But that wasn't the case for Mike Cortez and the Green Archers back in his era with the way he would play. Pero wait, championships sa ilan ba? Casio won 3. Cortez, forgot how many Cortez won. But would you just look at it in terms of, their style of play and everything, how they can impact the team? I'm going to go with Mike Cortez.
I'm the same. I'll go for Mike Cortez. Simply, I didn't watch him because I was gone. I wasn't here during his time in the PBA. But in terms of his controlling in the court, the way he controls the team in the court, and the way they call him the cool cat because he's so cool under pressure. And like what Claro said, clutch, killing instinct. I'll go for Mike Cortez. Although during the Powerade, again, I wasn't here also during that time. Disclaimer lang, I was still living in Sydney. The PBA wasn't being shown there. There was no Facebook Live yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think si Casio helped Powerade do that Cinderella run. No, so so that could also be attributed to him, but that was just a very short stint. No, Mike Cortez pa rin ako. The way he runs the play, and he's still playing. And people still, are giving him the ball, letting him run the plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Lance, do you want to make it unanimous?
Yeah, I'll make it unanimous. Actually, this is closer than the other matchup, the Willie Miller Stanley Pringle. Kasi yun talaga inisip ko. It's Willie Miller talaga. Ito, basically you have two players that have the same type of ball game. Two players that have the same style. Well, Mike Cortez is more of the acrobatic one. JV Casio is more of the long-range shooter. Pero if you dim down their style of play, they're both facilitators. They're both point guards. Pero I'll give Mike Cortez the edge because basing on the ability to facilitate plays, I'll give the edge to Mike Cortez.
Yep.
Parang mas nakikitaan ko si Mike Cortez ng command when it comes to directing his teammates. Not because he's the older one, pero he has that command, a gene of a commander, so to speak. So, Mike Cortez. So,
may leadership siya. Yeah, leadership yun.
You can say 2-2 sila in terms of championships on the court. One on the court.
Well,
Okay.
Well, actually, to validate your decision, Mike Cortez and JV Casio, when it comes to championships, Mike Cortez has more championship than JV Casio.
Yeah.
So more MVP title than JV Casio, more Finals MVP, and to make you feel more better, back in 2011, 2012, JV Casio wasn't the Rookie of the Year. It was Paul Lee who was Rookie of the Year that year.
That. The 2-all of JV and Mike was in college. On championships won on the court. Emphasis on that.
Okay. So, eto na. So, you pick Willie Miller and Mike Cortez. Now, who would you pick to represent the guards division? Willie Miller or Mike Cortez?
Oh, Willie
Lance, mauna ka.
Sorry.
Lance, mauna ka.
Okay, so this will be my shortest reply. Willie Miller.
Okay, Willie Miller, yeah. Willie Miller.
Willie Miller.
Yeah.
Miller.
Yeah.
So, unanimous ang tatlo. They choose Willie Miller to represent the guards.
Tsaka siguro just to add something. Parang mas magaan ang loob mo kay Willie Miller if you're a teammate. Hindi naman sa sinasabi ko na si Mike Cortez is a rotten tomato in the locker room. Pero yung aura kasi ni Willie Miller na kengkoy, masaya kasama. So parang ang gaan sa loob kapag kasama mo sa naglalaro. Yun lang.
Pero that kengkoy aspect, 'di ba? That is one thing also that naging criticism kay Willie Miller, 'di ba?
In a way, oo. Pero maybe that's how he motivates himself, being loose. That's how he plays the best, being loose. Parang if he's too tight, is too he pressures himself too much, maybe he doesn't play that well. So maybe that's how he motivates himself, being loose.
He's very kengkoy naman talaga personally.
Yeah. Kengkoy talaga si Willie.
Learned so much about Willie Miller in the book of Rafe Boogs, Rafe Bartholomew, Pacific Rims.
Yes.
There's so many funny moments there.
Okay.
So,
but yeah, we're good here, Willie Miller.
Yeah, it's the thriller.
The guys are unanimous in this one. Willie Miller is going to represent the guards in the number 1 PBA draft picks bracketology. And to make you feel better with your decision, Mike Cortez was at the Rookie of the Year. In 2003, it was Jimmy Alapag.
Yes.
That's a tough battle.
Yeah, but that's a totally different story with Jimmy sliding on the draft.
Okay.
So, nahirapan kayo sa guards. Papahirapan pa natin ng mas matindi yan as we proceed to the wings division. Listen to the selection sa wings. Mabigat-bigat din to. From 2008, Gabe Norwood. From 2005, Jay Washington. From 2006, Kelly Williams. From 2018, CJ Perez. And the wild card that I put here, for a very special reason, he's here to represent 2016. Pero 2016 really happened to be a really weird draft. Kasi doon nangyari yung remember the special draft for Gilas? Where all the 12 teams pick a player that can be pulled out anytime to represent the national team na hindi naman that didn't pan out eventually.
Yeah.
So, to represent the wings sa 2016, it was Matthew Wright. I put Matthew Wright in it. So, between Norwood, Washington, Williams, Perez, and Wright, who will be eliminated from the tribe? Claro, who would you kick out?
Can we just say Gabe Norwood wins?
I was just gonna say that, Claro. I'm just gonna go out the whole thing, Gabe Norwood.
Sir Jay, are you cool with that if I say Gabe Norwood and I give my reasons why?
Sige, why? Okay.
So, as the winner or as the
As the winner,
I'm the same.
Straight up. Okay.
Okay, Claro, go ahead.
Okay, go
Gabe
ahead.
Norwood, you can say he's pretty all around. Okay, he can shoot the ball, but streaky siya, matulis yung shot, di ba? He doesn't make it every time. It's just, occasionally, di ba? Correct me if I'm wrong here. But that's one thing, but he can get the stops. He can't post up, but he's a big guard. That's such a plus in the Philippines. I think Matthew Wright, I'd actually put him at... Wait. I kind of forgot all the names now, but Matthew...
Jay Washington.
Put him
Jay Washington, Kelly Williams. That's a tough field.
I might put Matthew Wright. I know. Okay, yung order ko, okay. Gabe, Kelly, I think Wright. Sino yung dalawa?
Jay
Perez,
Washington.
CJ Perez and Jay Washington. So you are going to kick out first.
Jay
Washington.
Yeah, because I think he was such a beast in the PBL.
Oh yes,
I could say. Yeah,
so,
he was a monster there. Pero I think pretty much hindi nag-pan out talaga in the PBA. So I think that's why. Yeah.
So you kick out Jay Washington. Claudia, I know you also want to pick Gabe Norwood to win, pero who are you going to kick out first?
When you said Gabe Norwood, you don't even have to add the other four. They're already
Gabe's immortal.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
I would take out CJ Perez.
Take out CJ Perez. Okay. Bata pa kasi.
Bata pa kasi. And he has no defense.
Yeah. Lance, who are you going to kick out?
Okay, so I'll shock you. I'll pick Kelly Williams over everybody.
May MVP kasi si Kelly.
Because he is an MVP. He has a proven winner. Nothing against Gabe Norwood, but defense, well, top of the charts, Gabe Norwood. Pero if it's individual ability, I'd go for Kelly Williams. Although, if I'm going to put it in a bracket,
who are you going to kick out first?
I'll take out Matthew Wright first.
Because
Jay Washington is one of the more forgotten players in the PBA kasi. Naging first team All PBA din yan eh. During the
Yes, that's true.
During the turn of the decade.
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
that's true.
It's just so happened that now you see him as a shell of himself. Pero back in the day, he had talent. He was really one of the top players. And the verdict is still out when it comes to Matthew Wright's career. Bata pa eh. Kaya ang pinag-iisipan ko na lang kanina kasi either CJ Perez or Matthew Wright. Parang CJ has proven himself not just in the PBA stage, but not just in the NCAA stage, but more so in the Gilas stage, in the international stage. So there have been games wherein CJ Perez shown with Robert Bolick. Si Matthew Wright, again, going back to a criteria of versatility and killer instinct, can you really dominate a game? I guess Matthew Wright can, but again, going back to the Paulo Mendoza conundrum, he has to shoot a lot of shots. CJ Perez can dominate in a lot of ways in the court. So si Matthew Wright, dahil din the verdict is out pa, so I'll take him out. Pero ultimately, I'll pick Kelly Williams.
Sige
So, paano yan? Where there's three different answers.
So you've heard your argument. You've heard each other's arguments. I don't know kung ano yung agreement nyo doon. Pero let's get another round of voting. If you agree on one aspect, kung doon sa, what do you call this, on the perspective of one another, so ulitin natin yung round of voting. Kung sino yung alisin muna natin. Claro, after hearing Claudia and Lance, would you still stick to your pick of removing Jay Washington? Sabihin ko lang yung credentials sa Jay Washington.
Okay, sure.
To convince you, to make you change your mind. He's a 3-time champion, 2-time best player of the conference. He's a 4-time All-Star, 3-time first team, 1-time second team, and a national team member. Medyo maganda-gandang credentials for Jay Washington. Are you still willing to kick him out?
Diba, he didn't pan out in the beginning, no? Pero eventually, parang late bloomer. I kind of missed a part of the PBA also. Parang pwede. It's
Okay.
too much to pass up on Jay. I'll remove Baby Beast.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Claudia, since si CJ Perez, recall ko lang recap lang natin yung mga nagawa ni CJ Perez. One-time first team, PBA, so defensive team, also a member, since isang taon pa nga na siya. Rookie of the Year, and the a rookie that became a scoring champion as well. Tapos, one-time D-League champion, D-League MVP, NCAA MVP, and 3x3 gold medalist. Still
I'll
gonna
still
remove
take him
CJ
out.
Perez.
Also, he's very erratic.
Oh.
I don't like the way. I mean, I do like. He's good. He's still he's still building up his maturity in professional basketball. Although he did shine in Gilas, but there were certain points where you see that. I think it was against. I forgot the team where he should have passed it. He fouled or he didn't make a layup. So there's still that immaturity that he has, which
bound to happen.
Yeah. So and he's erratic. It's erratic. So I'd rather have a stable guy, which is gonna be my last pick, which is Gabe Norwood in the team. So I'll still stick with my choice of who I should kick out is CJ Perez.
So that's CJ Perez. Dalawa na kay CJ Perez and Lance. You're still sticking with Matthew Wright. Just to recap his achievements right now. 2-time All-Star. 2-time All-Star MVP. That's nice. 1-time second team member, all-rookie team, and all his national team stints. And nag-MVP na siya sa ABL. But he's an ASEAN Heritage Import MVP.
Okay, so yung ibang credentials niya, parang there are asterisks to it eh.
Actually,
okay, it's good to be
MVP, All-Star
it's
MVP.
good to be an All-Star MVP, pero we know how the All-Star game works.
Yes. Kaming ano yun eh. Oh.
It's not really it's a no-bearing game.
Oh, and
so once you get hot,
yung All-Star na yon, it has many legs eh. Yung Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao leg, and he won an MVP and 2 out of those 3 legs.
But still, it's an All-Star game eh. You cannot. It's an achievement, yes. Because you're playing with the best players in the league. Pero we know that there's no defense in the All-Star game. There's only defense in All-Star games up until like the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. For like 43 minutes, for like 36 minutes actually, first 3 quarters. Sige, shoot ka. And then when the game is closed by the fourth quarter, okay, laro na to. Seryoso na to.
Kung dikit pa yung ano.
Diba? Oo, kung dikit pa. That's how All-Star games work. So if you become MVP, so it's a matter of number 1 getting hot, number 2 not being defended very well. So ibig sabihin lagi kang bukas. So madali yung laro para sa iyo.
Just a quick story. It was Giles versus Myanmar. Giles led by as many as 100 points.
Wow.
So my stretch naka 4 straight si Matthew Wright.
Matthew Wright.
Yeah, he is just a predator in that game. But I think at the end of the day, this all the players you mentioned for wings, Gabe Norwood all the way.
So ganito.
Nothing against Matthew Wright, pero ano na rin, if you're going to project the career of CJ Perez and then Matthew Wright, once it's done, and then you read their credentials once again, I feel like CJ Perez will have a longer list of credentials.
After mga a year.
10 years, hirap pa to.
Mag-bracket
Sabi 5 years, ganyan. Kahit 5 years man lang. I guess CJ Perez's resume will be longer in terms of achievements than Matthew Wright.
So here's what we're gonna do.
So dalawa na kaming...
So here's what we're gonna do, no? So why not we eliminate Jay Washington, CJ Perez, and Matthew Wright? Because the 2 of you wanted to pit Gabe Norwood and Kelly Williams against each other. Tama?
Yeah.
And that... So just
that's essentially the matchup.
Basically, that's gonna be the matchup.
Wright didn't win the Rookie of the Year. It was R.R. Pogoy who won. Jay Washington didn't win Rookie of the Year. It was Larry Ponasher, a second-round pick, who won the 2005 Rookie of the Year award. So, Gabe Norwood versus Kelly Williams. Gabe Norwood from 2008, a product of George Mason, a 2-time champion, 10-time All-Star, many-time member of the national team, an old reliable actually. Sa national team. 1-time Defensive Player of the Year and 7-time All-Defense. That's Gabe Norwood for you. For Kelly Williams, 6-time champion, 1-time MVP, 1-time BPC, Best Player of the Conference, 5-time All-Star, and he's a Rookie of the Year winner. So, defend Kelly Williams, Lance, just to convince the 2. anymore.
I will not try to convince that too. Pero I will really fight for Kelly Williams over this one because I have nothing against what Gabe Norwood has built. He has been a great ambassador for the league. He has been one of the consummate professionals in the PBA for over a decade. And his dedication to Gilas is cannot be touched by anybody. It's uncomparable to anybody. One call, he'll play for Gilas. Ganun talaga. No second thoughts. Pero if you're going to dump it down on individual talent and your tenure in the PBA, I would still go for Kelly Williams because he's an MVP, number one. He carried the team. Number two, when he went down with some disease, nag-struggle talaga yung team. So that's how valuable he was during the early stages of his career. And he was able to adjust pa his career when he went to Talk and Text because he had to play with an alapag. So you're seeing a two-act play when it comes to Kelly Williams' PBA career. So he was the dominant, high-flying, slam-dunking MVP during the early years. And then when he was traded to Talk and Text, he had to play with the likes of Alapag and Harvey Carey. So he had to adjust his style of play and play more of a team player. More of an integral part of the whole. So it's not just Kelly Williams dunking anymore. It's Kelly Williams, the professional, the teammate. So in the long run, I know Gabe Norwood, parang ano na yan eh. You can chisel his name when it comes to defensive team PBA every year. Hindi mo na dapat tanggalin yan. Parang you have to etch in stone Gabe Norwood until he plays, up until he retires. Laging kasama sa defensive team yan dapat eh. Much like a Chris Jackson before or Jericho Diniera during the 80s and 90s.
Parang more athletic version of them.
Taga mo sa bato yan eh. Gabe is, sige ganito, Gabe is who I'd get if I'm going to start a league. He'll be a great ambassador for a basketball league, Gabe Norwood. He'll be a great spokesperson ambassador and he has the talent to show it off in the court also. Pero if I'm picking a number one pick in terms of talent, skill, credential, and yung kayang gawin sa loob ng court, Kelly Williams will still be my choice, hands down.
Claro, have you changed your mind?
I'm still with Gabe. I think because Gabe is so reliable, he wouldn't really miss out on anything. I think he didn't really get any big injuries, right? He was always around. But Kelly Williams, those injuries, he wouldn't be around it for good stretches. And when you're in a team, of course, you need your guy to be there every time. So I'm going to stick with Gabe.
Claudia, change your mind?
I'm sticking with Gabe because I like defensive players. Because that's the game I play also. So I'm a very defensive player. And the fact that he's a leader of the court, not only inside, not only on the court, but also off the court. He's also a very motivational, he's a locker room, what they call a locker room player. He gets the troops in. He's the glue guy, very reliable. So it's hard kasi tama naman din si Lance regarding the credentials. You can't argue that Kelly Williams is so much better in terms of credentials and having MVPs and all the awards. No? Pero in terms of all-around player, I would still stick to my guns. Is Gabe Norwood.
Gabe Norwood.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gabe Norwood will represent the Wings division. So
and besides, those two dunks in the World Cup
against Luis Scola and
Luis Scola.
Okay, wait. For dunks, mahirap to
Yeah, no, but in the world against Luis Scola, remember those two big dunks?
Wow. That dunk of Gabe wins, but you have to give props to Kelly Williams.
He's
Jordan.
Very athletic. Very, very
He did a standing 360.
Yeah.
He won a
Walang
slam dunk
duelo.
contest.
Tab Baldwin is the coach against Jordan that time. Off Jordan, yeah.
Lazy. Ayun, anyway.
But anyways,
Okay, Gabe.
Yeah, still
Norwood
much respect to Gabe. No.
Yeah. Also,
He
Kelly,
contested the
close.
contest.
Very tight. Very tight. Very
Respectable, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
So, ayan, nakakalahati na tayo. Kaya nyo pa.
Of course, go ahead.
I feel like the next criteria or the next categories will become even tougher.
Yeah.
We go to the bigs.
Unless, ayun, okay.
We go to the bigs. So,
Center.
mauna muna tayo sa kung sinong i-vote out natin sa ating tribal council. So, representing the bigs of the top draft picks of PBA, you have from 2017, Christian Stenhardinger. You have from 2013, Greg Slaughter. You have from 2012, Junmar Fajardo. Then the other two from 2002, Yancy De Ocampo. And from 2010, Noy Baclao. Claudia, who are you going to kick out of the tribe?
Noy Baclao.
Why?
He's Yancy, what, most champions? I think, he still won a champion San Miguel. Fajardo, come on, man. That's a 6-time MVP. Greg Slaughter, he was a champion team din yun, and then he also played in Gilas. He was I believe the finals MVP maybe. I think he also won an award.
Noy Baclao is a 2-time UAAP champion, one-time finals MVP,
not much
player of the year.
Not much impact as the rest of the other four bigs that you mentioned. No impact. I mean, he does have impact, pero there's no, I will not give the ball to him.
Lance, would you kick out Noy Baclao too?
Malapit yung It's a very close call between Yancy De Ocampo and Noy Baclao because that's two schools of thought. Yancy De Ocampo is your quintessential stretch 4, stretch 5. He likes to play in the perimeter in the intermediate side of the court. Baclao, pure defender. Yun talaga siya. Hands down, lockdown defender. Pero early in his career, there were moments wherein De Ocampo was a reliable starting center. So by virtue of that, I would have to kick out Baclao also. So Yancy De Ocampo stays.
And remember, Yancy De Ocampo, before going to the PBA, he was a beast in the PBL.
Yes.
From a relatively unknown school, St. Francis of Assisi.
St. Francis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was that dominant. Kasama pa niya si Don Aliado. And he's a double-double machine dun sa well-coached Pate Master.
Yeah.
So, Claro, well, Noy Baclao is in your crosshairs, right? Being a true green Italian.
Mahirap to because Yancy was really a dominant player entering the pro ranks because of how well he did in the PBL. Noy Baclao is more of the blue-collar type of worker. He was a defensive guy. He wasn't the go-to guy for them in college. So, because when you're picking now, it's more of a who do you need in your team, but we don't need the team now. We're just examining the individuals. But I think Yancy's a big man. Well, we're going through big men, of course, yeah. But Yancy can play down and he can play up, right? He can hit shots from outside.
Yep.
Yes. Pero
I know his career didn't super pan out in the PBA.
Well, he didn't actually become that superstar like his contemporaries of Junmar and Christian and Greg Slaughter. Pero his credentials, 12-time champion. He's a one-time second team member actually in his PBA career. So, pero you have to remember this 2010 draft was very interesting because if you remember, Air 21 has, I think, 2 or 3 draft picks. 1, 2, and 3 sa kanila.
Yeah.
And Air 21, the consensus number 1 that time was Raba Al-Husseini. But Air 21 picked Noy Baclao first. Then they picked Raben second. Diba?
I remember that. Yeah. That was very interesting.
Yeah, and they were not able to measure the emotional strain that it would put to Raba Al-Husseini.
Parang ininis lang nila si Raba noon that time. Diba?
I should have been number 1.
So, I think unanimous kayo na si Noy Baclaw was the odd man out here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go with Yancy because again, not just the credentials, but his style of play is great for a team.
Yeah.
I think pwede rin international.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been nice to see him there.
Oh. Well, so si Noy Baclaw is eliminated right now, but some notable notes here. 2010-2011 PBA Rookie of the Year wasn't him. It was the number 2 pick.
Yeah,
it was Rabalo Singh. Oh.
Yeah.
So ito, masayang matchup na to. Pahirapan. Hindi, doon muna tayo sa madali. Junmar Fajardo or Yancy De Ocampo?
Junmar.
Do we need any explanation?
Yancy. Yancy, I have to apologize pero it makes our decision easy. Yun yung sasabihin ko.
Yancy!
Junmar. Yancy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But,
Junmar would have gotten mad at you.
I'm sorry, but even you wouldn't pick yourself over a 6-time MVP.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy choice.
Parang sorry, I have to butt in with this story. Parang nalala ko dati sa Ateneo. Chris Chu is the heartthrob ganyan. And then there's this one fan daw who found Ford Araw more guwapo than Chris Chu.
Mm-hmm.
So may ganung fan. So nung nakwento daw kay kay Ford Araw. Ang sabi ni Ford Araw, totoo ba yung taong yan? Parang, does that person really exist? So ibig sabihin, even Ford Araw wouldn't pick himself over Chris Chu when it comes to kagwapuhan. So, based on that example, Yancy, I'm sorry, but we cannot pick you over a 6-time MVP who could end up winning even more.
Yeah.
Matanong nga kay Coach Ford yan pag nagkita kami, yung storya na yan. He has to tell that himself to me. So ito, let's spend a great amount of time here in this matchup. Christian Steinhardinger or Greg Slaughter? Claudia, mauna ka.
Parehas naman silang kaibigan ko. Si Greg, kausap.
Okay. That's another pack of coffee gone.
That's so hard.
So do I have to pass
Burning Bridges Part 2.
I know, you're like burning bridges. Oh, wow. Well, you can't teach height. You can't teach height.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and I know that Greg's really training hard in the States. So, can't teach height. Although, ang ganda ng laro ni Christian Steinhardinger, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's really an odd big. He could really dominate. Like an odd big. Like, kulang lang outside shot. Nako, once he gets an outside shot, wow, he's gonna be deadly. And if he fixes dribbling, nako, deadly. Si C-Stan.
So who?
Wow, this is hard.
You want me to pass the ball first?
0.00000 lang ang panalo. 0.00000 at the nth zero, C-Stan. To the nth zero, sorry, Greg. But
Greg is gonna be lonely.
You're my very, very good friend, but
Greg's gonna be lonely. Boy, he has to hear this habang nagtitraining siya sa US.
He's improving, and I'm sure when he comes back, he's gonna dominate. He's gonna dominate. Yeah.
Okay, so 1 vote for C-Stan. Lance, who do you got?
Okay, so I'll assess the careers of both players first.
Okay.
Yung style kasi ni Steinhardinger, para siyang madaling agawan ng bola. Alam mo yung so for those who don't know much of the street ball jargon when it comes to basketball, si Christian Steinhardinger parang kangkarot maglaro ng basketball.
Alam ni Claudia yun.
I know that. I know that.
Alam mo yun, north to south, and then he'll dip his shoulder, tapos he'll do somewhat of a Dirk Nowitzki. So yun yung mga niya yung mga favorite moves ni C-Stan Pero reliable si C-Stan.
Yeah.
When it comes to Greg Slaughter kasi, I'll always measure him against Junmar Fajardo. Kasi there was a point in time during NCSAFI when he was dominating Junmar.
Yes.
He was the
True.
king of the Sisafi.
Yeah.
And now that they're in the PBA, it's not even close. So what happened? So essentially, although Greg Slaughter's career is not yet over, so far he has underachieved because he could have done so much more with his height, with his talent. And especially now that with Coach Tim Cone mentoring him, he could have done so much more. And in contrast, with the short span of his career so far, C-Stan was able to become an able backup to Junmar. At the same time, be the go-to guy in his next team, in the team that he transferred to.
Northport, yes.
Northport. So he became one of the vital players. So
And
he
best
has that.
conference na.
Yeah, he has that. He has that talent residing in him. It just so happened that it was Junmar or the rotation of SMB limiting him.
Correct, yeah.
So I would go for Christian because of that. C-Stan.
C-Stan 2-0. Claro, somebody has to vote for Greg Slaughter for sure. Pero
He
I don't know about
He
you.
wouldn't. He's a
Claro.
Lasallian.
Wow, huh? That's the basis,
Blasphemous.
huh? That's not even my basis. So straight up.
Bagay, I voted out Paulo Mendoza kanina. So,
Oh.
out of the question.
No, but honestly, that's not my basis. Yung pumapasok sa akin, you see when these guys handle the ball and when they're given their opportunities to do their work, you see that Stan Hardinger is more confident with what he does. You see with Slaughter, there's a bit of tentativeness, but that's something we know that he's trying to overcome right now. And with Stan Hardinger, iba yung diskarte niya eh. And with the way he has that speed despite being a big man. But I know he's not as tall as Slaughter. But I think Stan Hardinger can really... But Stan Hardinger kasi, dahil sa kanyang diskarte, he can lock down those bigger guys too. So I'm gonna go with C-Stan. And another thing, he's more consistent also.
Mm-hmm. So C-Stan, unanimous. Sorry, Greg.
Pero we're hoping na yun nga, like Claudia mentioned, the training in the States will help him become
It will.
Greg Slaughter 2.0. The Greg
Well,
Zilla talaga.
And he'll move up the ladder here in the new version in the future. Who knows?
Well, it's only 30 years, 29, 30 years old. Ang layo pa ng mararating ni Greg.
He hasn't hit his ceiling. You know.
Pero for now, for the benefit of this conversation, Stan Hardinger moves up. So we go to the more difficult part of this conversation. Who would you pick to represent the Bigs in the PBA top draft pick bracket tournament? Junmar Fajardo or Christian Stan Hardinger? Hans, mauna ka.
Christian, I'm sorry. But this is an easy choice. Christian, sorry. This is an easy choice.
Junmar Fajardo. There's no really beating that 6-time MVP credential, no?
Yeah.
Kay Junmar.
Really hard eh.
Yeah.
And that's his 6 MVPs are like no pushovers.
Yeah.
They were especially that he has to fight for the ball in a totally loaded SMB roster. So he's really the anchor of that team. No doubt.
Claudia, magsasorry ka rin kay Christian?
Sorry, Christian. GMF, man. GMF. You cannot not choose a 6-time MVP. I mean, that's crazy. Honestly, like, you can't. You're like, what? Where are you, Mars? Yeah.
Claro.
Not JMF. It's Fajardo.
No, he's not the GOAT.
That's another thing. But I think he might finish it lower down the ladder of GOATs. I think Junmar. Oh, no, not I think. Straight up, 100%. Because, everything we said earlier also, just to keep it simple with Junmar, I know you can't teach height, but he's already tall. He has the skill. Skill is a totally different thing from height. Tapos may diskarte pa. Normally, smaller players, they have that diskarte.
Yeah.
Because they can't use their physique, but Fajardo has that this guy. I'm not saying that he's gonna start dribbling like a guard, but you can see that he uses his brain really well. He's also a smart player.
Yeah.
All right.
So John Marfa, go ahead, Claudia.
Typical post player, which is nawawala. That kind of skill is not.
He's the
basket. It's parang yan, nawawala that kind of skill. The back to the basket, pivot. He still has.
epitome of old school siya, no?
Yeah.
Old school basketball siya. He's a face of
Yeah.
old school basketball right now.
He rarely takes intermediate, medium range jumpers.
Yeah.
Pero if there's one thing I'll give to Christian Stan Hardinger, and this is a
Sorry.
lighter, on the lighter side, Christian Stan Hardinger is better at answering questions from the media.
Oh, yes.
Junior kasi parang, mama ko, papa ko. Salamat.
Yeah.
Pero if anything, kwela din si Christian Stan Hardinger pagkausap ng media. He has that comedic moments too.
Anecdote lang, di ba? It's very fast kasi our time is Remember when they had that, was it Global Port? It was still in Northport. Was it Northport? Global? Northport. Versus Phoenix ata yun, the triple overtime or double overtime. Right before the SEA Games. Right? I forgot sino kalaban nila din.
No, it was the quarterfinals and Lex.
And Lex there. Yeah, sorry. It was,
yeah. I remember the game now.
Quarterfinals.
And he played almost all game. He played the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
And our training then for SEA Games was at 9 o'clock in the morning. I get to the gym. Guess who was there already working out? Si Stan. I'm like, what great work ethic. Super.
Baka doon na siya natulog sa gym, no?
He lives very close to the gym. He lives very close.
Doon na siya dumiretso pagkatapos ng laro.
Person, why are you here? He says, man, I want to play, stuff like that. So, but they rested him naman the following days. But even Coach Tim Cohn was like, why is he here? Like, he was in a very good way. Wow, work ethic. The work ethic. Actually, silang dalawa ni Junmar.
Yeah. So again, moving forward, Fajardo will represent the Bigs. Fun fact though, not those 5 in the Bigs department didn't win Rookie of the Year except for one. It was Greg Slaughter who won Rookie of the Year. Even Junmar, he was not Rookie of the Year during his time. It was Abueva.
Yeah.
Okay? So last division na tayo. Let's see who is going to represent the stretch guys or the utility guys. So first thing in order, kick out who is the odd man. Choose who is the odd man out here. First from 2015, Moto Tua. Then 2009, Japet Aguilar. From 2007, Joe De Vance. From the most recent one, 2019, Isaac Go. And Claro's favorite from 2004, Rich Alvarez. Claro, who are you going to vote out of the tribe?
Yeah, pero it goes back to that difficult thing again. Oh wait, the reason why Rich Alvarez is my favorite pala. Kasi my Burlington ba? My Burlington commercial siya when he just entered the PBA. Rich Alvarez, first overall draft pick PBA. Tapos pagtapak niya, nanit, the Sox absorbed all the impact.
All I can remember was Rich Alvarez was benched in his first game in the PBA.
I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yes, he was benched by their new coach that time, Don Shell. He was benched. He didn't play a single minute in his first ever PBA game.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, Claro, are you going to kick out?
Are you trying to sway my decision, Sir Jay? Okay. It's a difficult thing again because of how the game is evolving. Because Rich Alvarez is such a dominant player.
Yes,
also,
I agree.
In the collegiate years, that's what vouched for him to become the first overall draft pick in his time.
Two-time UAAP MVP, one-time Defensive Player of the Year sa UAAP. Very impressive collegiate collegiate.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because when Ateneo won the title, I forgot what year that was, 2002 ba? Game 3.
Mm-hmm.
Game 3 of the finals. But this is when Ateneo was champion. First play parang dumakdak. And dunks were rare that time.
Mm-hmm.
Dunks were rare that time. And you just did that. Standing dunk. I'd compare go Rich Alvarez against Isaac on who to remove. But what's tough again here is the development of the game because Isaac's a big man who shoots his threes, right? And he can also bruise down low.
Stretch, guys.
Yeah, that's what's difficult. So, I'm gonna go with Isaac, bottom line, because of how you can stretch. That is such a big asset. Pero that wasn't a thing then, the time of Rich Alvarez. Yes, he did shoot some threes in his collegiate years, but that one wasn't really within the motions of their system back then. But I will go with keep Isaac, drop Rich Alvarez.
Okay.
But again, that's an asterisk because it's kind of unfair to the older generation because the game is developing until now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Claudia, who are you going to kick out? Of this 5.
Either of the two. I'm choosing between also Rich Alvarez and Isaac.
Well, Isaac is at an obvious disadvantage here because he's not even played a PBA game yet. And he will play a PBA game after the 2023 World Cup pa. Remember, di ba? He's on loan to the national team.
Kasi, to be honest, I didn't see Rich play also But I saw Go play.
Well, Rich is a classic. He's a natural 3 talaga. But he plays as a 4 because limited yung kanyang offensive weapons
No, I think I'll go with Go.
Isaac Go.
Yeah. And I think I see more of a maturity, mabilis ang magiging maturity ni Isaac Go.
Yeah, Isaac Go, if I can add, is a really smart player. But I can just add that later on as we go on.
So Lance,
I see that as a very good advantage on his side.
So Lance, break the tie, or do you have something else in mind to kick out?
I'll kick out Rich Alvarez. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Though he played in the PBA, it was subpar from what is expected from him. Because he was a UAAP MVP. So usually when you're UAAP MVP, there's a certain level of criteria or quality that you must meet. And throughout his career, he was reliable, he was solid. Pero he was never the guy. Like, he was never the top gun of the team. He can contribute double digits.
He's Rookie of the Year.
He's Rookie of the Year. Pero he was never the top dog in the squad. There's always somebody else. So he's part of the squad as always. Not like in Ateneo wherein he was really one of the best or one of the top players. Going back to Isaac Go, I'll base this on having the clutch gene. Isaac Go has it. Rich Alvarez doesn't. Just remember the 3-pointers he converted against FEU and La Salle. And to Claro's point, the game is different now. And Isaac Go would be an ideal big guy for the game as we speak. A thinking center and a center that can fill up a lot of space in the court. Rich Alvarez was athletic, versatile naman. Pero if I will project Isaac Go's career, I will bet that it will be better than Rich Alvarez. So I'll have to let go of Rich Alvarez.
Well, Isaac Go is a 3-time UAAP champion and he has already made this mark sa D-League, sa semi-pro. So
and an honor student, by the way. Honor
student. So
yes.
Isaac Go, on court, off court, I think tama yung projection mo siguro na he'll do better as his career advance. Pero, so, we kick out Rich Alvarez. We include Isaac Go in the bracket. So, Isaac Go, let's pit him up quickly against Moto2WA.
Ooh, pebbles.
So, who would you choose to advance, Claudia? Moto2WA or Isaac Go?
Moto2WA.
Moto2WA. Bakit si Mo?
He's proven himself also and still proving himself. Yun lang.
Pero do you think Moto2WA and Isaac Go play similarly?
Yeah, actually, I was just gonna say They play similar. They play similar.
Pero,
And then Mo, currently he's already improving his 3-point shot. So he's getting deadlier and deadlier there also. And then during the first game ata sa San Miguel, before the pandemic, he was also, since they lost Junmar, he's gonna be the go-to guy in the middle. Right?
Yes. He did well in that game.
Yes.
He did spectacular in that game. And you could see that from that game alone, and even before he got traded to San Miguel in Northport, he was already building his career there. He was already stepping up, his 3-point shots, his defense. And then he moved to San Miguel, medyo bumaba because he was in the shadows of the 6-time MVP Junmar Fajardo. But when Junmar Fajardo went down on that injury, si Mautautua stepped up, and we saw it in his first game. And we saw it in his first game. So there is again improvement for Mo, and we've seen it. We've seen his brilliance. Si Isaac also is gonna mature, but he still has to play a game. The PBA.
Wala pa.
I would choose Mo. Yeah.
Claro, who would you choose?
If you're gonna insert someone into a system, it will be Isaac. Go. But I think if you're looking at individual capabilities, who can you just insert? This talent. It might have to be Mo. It's gonna have to be Mo. I think Mo, especially with his heft, he's got muscle. He can really influence the game. Just in that sense, in comparing two different players. But at the end of the day, here we're just looking at the individual player. If I were to insert someone into like a system, a team play system, it would be Isaac. But I'll go with Mo with this one, given that it's an individual bracket.
Lance, would you want to make it unanimous?
Yeah, this is where Isaac Goslak will run out. Because Mo Tautua has proven himself to be an able player during his time in Northport. Just so happened nga na ngayon, he is playing behind a 6-time MVP in Junmar. There's no way that he can beat the playing time of a player as talented as that. But when he was in Northport prior to being in SMB, he did well. He did fantastic. He was one of the main guns of the team. Isaac Go, well, frankly, he is solid. He is dependable. But when you think of the Blue Eagles, especially from the last season, the first person you'll think are 30 and Kwame, not necessarily him. So for a stretch during the time of Mo in Northport, you thought of him as one of the guys, one of the big weapons, main weapons. Isaac Go is a weapon of Tab Baldwin. Pero the main weapons, the main guns of Ateneo are really 30 and Kwame. He was a supplementary cast to the big guns that they had. So I'd pick Moala.
That's a good word regarding Isaac in supplementary. By the way, quick story kay Mo. When he was playing in the PBA D-League, do you know he plays like Gabe Norwood? And his natural position was 3 talaga. He'll drive to the basket. He'll bring that ball down. He will pull up from the outside. Ganun ang laro ni Mo Tautua. Then, you'd love that evolution pagdating niya sa PBA na naging big man game na siya, di ba? So, that's why I put him in this category na utility. Na they had that ability to play as a wing. Then, they also have that switch to a big guy. So, Tautua advances. Ito medyo mahirap to. Japet Aguilar versus Joe De Vance.
Yeah, that was hard.
Joe ulit unahin ko since he knows these two people again.
That's tough.
That's
Aguilar
tough.
and De Vance.
That's tough. That's really tough.
Aguilar was drafted 2009 but didn't play immediately.
Joe De Vance is a very smart
player. Joe De Vance 2007.
He's a very smart player. He fits into any system.
Both ends of the spectrum. Silang dalawa.
Yeah. But si
Plus
Joe is so versatile and so athletic.
Plus Joe De Vance looks like Stromae Swift.
Yeah, ang hirap niyan. Wow, that's hard.
Pass the ball.
But I'm leaning towards Joe De Vance kasi he's so smart and he fits into the system really well. You know.
So regarding to, so ang criteria, you can have that criteria na you're leaning towards basketball IQ.
Yeah, I'm
Because
leaning towards basketball
those
IQ.
basketball IQ is really off the charts.
Super taas. And leader siya, and he's a coach. He's going to be a coach. He could shoot the threes. You know, his defense is good. He could also be in the block in the post. Do that. Wow, that was different. Joe De Vance. JDV.
Nahirapan si Claudia doon.
Nahirapan ako doon, yeah. Wow.
Pero mukhang hindi kasing hirap nung dinanas mo kay Pringle tsaka kay Miller.
Yeah, but I go Joe. I go JDV.
Lance.
So this is the first time during this episode that I had to Wikipedia the credentials of both players. Because it's that close. Okay? Really is that close.
Well, Joe De Vance. To be fair na lang.
I just search it now. So I just opened the URLs. Pero parang kasi this is not detrimental to his career. Pero Joe De Vance, I see him as the perpetual pet project of Team Cone. What? He's always there wherever Tim is. It's not a detriment to his career. It's just so happened that Tim Cone trusts him so much because he is a thinking player.
Oh, and Joe De Vance begs for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Pero you have to career-wise, the only advantage Japet Aguilar has over Joe De Vance is Japet has the international medals around his neck, which Joe De Vance doesn't have because Joe De Vance wasn't able to represent the national team as a player. As a coach, yes, he did recently. So again, it is really agreeable that it is this close pagdating sa PBA credentials sila. Although Joe De Vance has won more championships than Japet Aguilar, pero Japet Aguilar still, he has a lot of playing years left. So pwede pa niya mahabol yun.
Yeah. And individually, Japet has the better credentials because he was a first-time mythical team selection. So Joe De Vance, good, but if we are going to base on that criteria, Joe De Vance is a good player, and Japet Aguilar individually is better. Okay, pero
hirap no?
I'll throw the credentials away. I'll throw the criteria. I'll throw the qualities, and I'll throw all the accolades away. If you're going to choose between the two, a person that is willing to sacrifice for the team to win, and this is who I'm going to pick, I'll pick Joe De Vance.
Yeah.
Because,
Hirap.
Oh, mahirap.
Hirap.
Para, Japet kasi, he has his way of playing
Yeah.
He can play defense, he can shoot from the perimeter, he can lock down somebody.
Yeah.
Joe kasi, you cannot pinpoint what his style really is because he adjusts to the flow of the game.
Yeah, galing ng
galing. In stream during the game. You want me to shoot 3-pointers? Okay, I'll shoot. You want me to pass out the ball? Okay, I'll defend if you want me to defend. So, in terms of being able to adjust on the fly and be a complementary piece that is all-star level, by the way, who can deliver the points, but can also do the other jobs, the other dirty work, so to speak, that you need to win all the small wins that you have to pull out. So I would have to pick Joe De Vance.
Joe De Vance 2-0. Claro, you want to make it 3-0 for JDB?
I want to say Japet Aguilar because he dunked over KD.
That was a grace. Napadaan si KD.
Yeah. Pero medyo napikon si KD after, no? Yeah.
Napadaan lang si KD to.
Yeah, but a dunk is still a dunk. We all jumped off our seats that time and smart Araneta. This is how it goes for me because there are two different ends of the spectrum. De Vance is a thinking player like what Lance said. He's shifty. De Vance isn't the fastest. He'll read the game. Aguilar, he has the athleticism. But I think if it's for Gilas, I think I'll go Japet. But
I definitely pick Japet too when it comes to the national team.
If we're doing a Gilas bracket, I'll go Japet. But we're doing a PBA bracket. Well, I'll go with Joe. I think something also you can say parang sustainable yung style of play niya, because Aguilar, what happens if he loses his athleticism?
Yeah.
Due to age. I'm not saying I want him to get injured or anything, but as you age, you'll kind of lose steam and hops. But that's not the case for Joe De Vance. He'll always have the smarts, so that's something I like. It's sustainability also. So Joe.
And Joe De Vance like 36 or 37 already, pero diba? You could argue that he has like 4 or 5 years, but he could be included in the 40-year-old club of professional players, diba?
But he's so smart,
Yeah, he was able to get a glimpse of coaching during the SEA Games, so that would be a second career after.
Yeah,
no doubt he would be suitable for that.
So Joe De Vance will advance the utility group or the stretch guys. So that will pit him against Mo Tautua. I think this is an easy answer for you guys.
Yeah.
Lance, De Vance Tautua.
Mo? I'm sorry. the matchup was just made easy for us. Sorry. You are a talented player, Mo. Okay, keep it up. Keep on improving. You are now at a great team. You can win multiple titles. Pero I'm sorry again. It will have to be Joe. Have to be Joe.
Yung nasabi mo, Lance, also Mo got potential. There's a reason why he's called Pebbles.
Yeah.
Asi Junior. Diba?
Yeah, the verdict is still out when it comes to Mo. He still has a lot of basketball to play. A lot of gas in the tank for Mo.
Okay. Claro. So you go with Joe.
I'm going with Joe. Yep.
So Claudia.
Joe.
Ngiti na yan. That smile means that Joe De Vance will advance. So,
Devance advance.
So interesting enough, the guys that you kicked out of the tribe was the only player who won Rookie of the Year in that group. It was Rich Alvarez. All of these 4 guys that advanced to the bracket, Tautua, Aguilar, Devance, they didn't win the Rookie of the Year. So that will bring us to our final 4. Miller, Norwood, Fajardo, and Devance. Ang gandang team yan, di ba? Kung bubuin natin.
I love that.
But we are now going to a part where we have to choose who is that one guy, who are we going to pick to build a team around. Meaning, kapag naipit kayo sa 2 player, sino yung pipili nyo para maging number 1 overall draft pick ninyo? Okay? So are you ready, guys, with the final 4 matchup? Ready na kayo?
Let's go.
Game.
So, hindi na, para walang away, sino gusto mauna? Bago ko sabihin yung matchup. Claudia, gusto mo ulit mauna?
Kung like, sino pipili ko sa lahat? 4 na yun?
Hindi, kung sino gustong una mag-explain. Kasi baka mahirapan ulit.
Like,
anyways, Claudia, sige.
I have to choose between the 4, right? I mean, like...
No, sige. Ito, unang
bigyan mo ng bracket. Yeah.
I will give you the first matchup and you explain who's your pick.
Okay.
Who would you pick? Willie Miller or Gabe Norwood?
Gabe Norwood.
Why?
Again, I'm a defensive person. I like defense.
You're trying to build a team around this person, huh? Remember?
Yeah, I'll build a team again around Gabe Norwood. He'll choose the right people. He'll rally the right people in. Locker room player. Yun. Yeah.
Okay. Claro.
Leadership.
Claro.
Gabe also, because I agree with what Claudia said. Pero Willie Miller, Willie Miller's a leader also. But Gabe, he's a figurehead.
Yeah.
Willie Miller leads by example. Gabe is able to do both. But it's just that they have different styles and both work. But I prefer the style of Gabe.
Yeah.
So Gabe Norwood, 2-0.
Oh, and
Lance.
plus, I like how Gabe's really a point guard, in fact. So there's a premium again on big point guards and what they can bring because they can change the game.
Mm-hmm. Lance.
Well, we'll make it 3-0 for Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
Though Willie Miller is a 2-time MVP, there's an abundance of wingmen, scoring wingmen that is in the PBA. You'll have a James Yap. You'll have there's a lot of up and coming wingmen that can score, that can essentially copy what Willie Miller can perform, can do inside the court. Pero you can never replace the defensive tenacity, the leadership, the command, and more importantly, the inspiration that Gabe Norwood can bring to a young player.
Correct.
So if you're going to build a team and then you're going to pull young players eventually, you'll have a luxury of having a second head coach with a Gabe Norwood in your roster. So it's Gabe Norwood.
Okay.
If I can add, it's nice how Gabe is a stopper. Agree again with Claudia. Because as a stopper like that, you can even make him lock down the 1, 2, 3. Even the 4 in that situation because of his body. And that's a lot of versatility. That's a luxury. That's a big asset for you in the team to add to leadership and everything.
Yeah.
So I suggest you remember all of those things that you said to Gabe Norwood, okay? So tandaan nyo lang yon. So put that in the backseat for a moment. Let's proceed to the next matchup.
Yeah.
Junmar Fajardo or Joe De Vance? Who would you build a team around?
Junmar.
Claro, mauna ka.
Junmar.
Why Junmar?
I think that's assessing again the landscape. Yeah. That's the landscape in the Philippines. How often do you get 6'10", 6'11" guy in the Philippines? But again, not just because Junmar's a tall guy. Kita mo yung galaw niya, yung diskarte niya. I'll get him. Yeah. But if 6'11" players were more of a common thing here, I might have to get Devance because of his shiftiness again. But I'm not discounting Junmar again and saying get him just because he's tall. I'm not discounting Junmar, but with what I just previously said, I will still go for Junmar.
So that's the question, Ed. Who would you want to build your team around? So, Claro, you go for Junmar still?
Yes.
Lance.
Okay, so I'll base it on the question, who would you want to build your team around? And the first matchup, the previous one, made this choice easier for me because I already picked Gabe Norwood kanina.
I heard that.
So you already have an intelligent player that can lock down 1 to 4, be that player that can read the flow of the game and adjust on the fly. So if you're going to choose Joe De Vance, it's like a copycat. It's a carbon copy of Gabe Norwood. Plus, if I'm going to build a team, so I'll have the leadership of Gabe Norwood, who can be the heart and soul of my team. But my main weapon would be Junmar Fajardo. I guess that would be a formidable core for any team already. So Junmar.
Claudia, nahihirapan ka.
Yeah. If I were, diba normally when you play street ball and then you're the captain of the team, right? And then you nagano kayo, Jack and Poy, and then you
Pilian.
And then you see
nag-draft
Norwood and Junmar, mapapaiyak ka. Like you're gonna cry. Like you're gonna get...
so, between Fajardo and Devance muna. Between Fajardo and Devance.
Oh gosh, Fajardo.
Oh, look.
No.
So, okay. So, unanimous si Junmar
Norwood
to advance. So, now we go to the difficult part. Now, here's the question, ha?
I hate this.
Question already. So, Norwood and Fajardo is now facing in the finals of the ultimate number 1 draft pick ng PBA since 2000. So the question now here is, who is the ultimate number 1 draft pick in the PBA? Is it Gabe Norwood or Junmar Fajardo? Claudia, by the way, guys, your own criteria.
My criteria's
Oh, your own criteria, guys. So,
Yeah.
Claudia,
Own
sige.
criteria
Do
all the
honors.
way.
if I would oh my god. If I would like to win championships, if I'm a coach and I want to win championships, if that's my goal to win, I will build my team around Fajardo. But if I'm a team that wants to build character and player development, I would choose Gabe Norwood.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a person that likes to improve and build character. So I would. You can't teach height.
Nakabuela.
You can't teach height, but Gabe will teach you heart.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. You could, because Gabe already has character na eh. I mean, Junmar has character. Ganda din ng attitude ni Junmar. Really, 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 really good. Pero leadership-wise, Gabe Norwood. I'm gonna throw it out there. Gabe Norwood.
That was hard for you. Lance.
Well, nothing against Gabe Norwood. World-class talent. He has represented Gilas time and time again. Pero it's really hard to pass up with a talent of a Junmar Fajardo. Not saying that you can get somebody with a caliber of Gabe Norwood again. Pero if you're going to base it on skill, parang down the road, you will be able to find somebody with the same skill set and capability of a Gabe Norwood as compared to the raw basketball talent of a Junmar Fajardo. So I'll pick Junmar.
Mm-hmm. One for Norwood, one for Fajardo. Claro Manzano, you do the honors of breaking the tie.
Yeah.
Who is the
Split
ultimate
decision.
number one? Draft pick.
First, is it a coincidence or anything? We're stuck with two Gilas mainstays.
Yeah.
That's right.
And what's nice is this is a homegrown Pinoy versus a foreign-born Pinoy.
It's true also, yeah.
One trained abroad,
The
right?
battle of separate
everything.
cultures, no?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And two fantastic role models for basketball
Actually,
players.
yes.
Huh?
Actually, that's a good point.
You really see the hashtag represent, no? But I'm gonna build my team around skills, and Junmar's skills are game-changing in the Philippines in the PBA. So I'm gonna go with Junmar. Yeah.
Bang! Okay.
Bang.
But again, I'm not discounting Gabe or anything, right?
Yeah, if
Because
I also
off the
had
court
the
and
second
everything.
pick, yeah.
Yeah,
If I also had the second pick, it's Gabe already automatically.
tama. Good point by Lance. But I will go with Junmar because of his skill set. He'll attract so much attention under the hoop because of his skills, his post-up game and everything under the basket. And then what do? You surround him with shooters. That's what I have in mind. You surround him with shooters and with the playmaker. That's what you do. Space the floor. That's what San Miguel does too.
Ang hirap was a difficult
Something I like.
Mahirap talaga. Oh.
Hirap yun.
Good stuff.
Junmar also is a breath of fresh air
Yeah.
because in a time wherein you know practically everything about somebody because there's social media and Instagram and all.
Yes.
Junmar represents quiet leadership.
Mm.
Gabe is more, there's more emotion. There's more. He's more fiery, maybe even more vocal.
Vocal
And
positivity si Gabe.
Junmar gets the job done. That's his example. That's how I lead. I score 40 any given night.
Grabe.
That's how I lead.
Pero,
I will not say as much words as I need to, but I'll show you. So yun ang leadership ni Junmar.
Claudia.
difficult. Yeah, I was leaning towards Junmar, but in terms of leadership, in terms of heart, I mean, Junmar has that. Junmar does have that. I think. But to tell you, both of them have beautiful characters.
Yes.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
But make no mistake about it,
Ganda ng character ng dalawa.
Seeing the pool of the number one draft picks the PBA has produced from 2000, we could say there are no pushovers. These are hard choices that you all made. Actually, you all made. Wala naman ako pinili dito. And if anything, these 20 guys, indeed deserve a recognition. And if anything, I think they justified it. They justified it to themselves, to the basketball community, to their teams that picked them. Na in some ways, nasabi nila na naipakita nila na karapat-dapat silang maging number 1 draft pick in their respective years nung pumasok sila sa PBA. But then again, in this mini tournament of ours, it ended up Junmar Fajardo being the ultimate number 1 PBA draft pick among everybody since the year 2000. Was it fun, guys? Was it fun?
It was far.
It was strenuous, actually.
Sumakit yung ulo ko. Nagre-research ako dito habang
It's like, so whenever you put up a category, you put up a matchup, there are 2 pictures that are flash in front of me immediately. Okay, so I see the picture of Willie Miller. I see the picture of this guy. Okay, so that's how...
Ulitin natin to, ha? Ulitin natin to.
We can repeat with another category siguro.
Ibang category, ulitin natin to.